I'd like to show you something.
The pace when I'm running, I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm
You have to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky?
Good evening. Welcome, one and all, to Toxic Tuesday. And don't mind me and my incorrect numbering. I screwed up because, well, I screw up things too. And that's just sometimes just part of the game. I am a human being, and I meant to put, I think, episode 146 or something. I'm looking right now. Yeah, I meant to put 147. 147. Here comes the retitling. There you go. Oh, yeah. There you go. Oh, there you go. Refresh that screen. How you all doing tonight? So, obviously, it's our final episode of the Back to School edition. This episode is going to be a little bit different tonight. For one, it's gonna be a lot more streamlined. Usually, the dudes, one dude or two, who usually take care of like the slideshow type of stuff, can't be around. So, like, you know what? Well, Billy Madison's already practically in our DNA anyway. So we're just gonna have a random conversation. So if you watch shows like 4K for You or Tom and Gerry, it's gonna be like that, but with toxicity thrown in. So, and to make up for it, we'll play a few clips for you guys, especially some of the deleted scenes. There's some really good stuff from the deleted scenes. I think it'll be good play, and we're gonna be having a wave of trivia thrown at you, and we're gonna quote the hell out of this movie. So it'll probably be hour and 15, hour and a half show tonight, and then we're gonna come back in strong 2 weeks from now for a little bit of some darkness for the month of October. Let's go on. Let's see. We got Vocal Lips, Cosmic Vader, Poe Baby 74, Putin's Cat, Davina Duckworth, Snorta Poopus Cuber, D-Bud Martin, Steve Mitchum, Darth Viewer, Yick Nomino, Jonathan Conroy, how's it going? Rap Altus, Monkey Jeebus, how's it going? Nice to see you, man. Yeah. All right, so let's bring in our two gentlemen tonight because, yes, all the other dudes have prior engagements and some had, well, stuff comes up, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So we're going to bring in Tom first because I just saw him a few minutes ago, and we had there's a lot that was being covered on the meet tonight.
Yes, but I'm happy to go back to school just before we get into scary mode.
Oh, I know, right?
I know, I love October. It's awesome.
Oh,
but yeah, I think you oversold the trivia on this because I have to tell you, this is one of those movies where there's not a whole lot of trivia to get into compared to what we usually get. But we got some fun stuff to get into, and I have a feeling we'll be talking more about Adam Sandler as a whole than anything else. But we'll get into this tonight. This is going to be a fun one, I think. We got Gerry here. So we got all sorts of backdoor action going on.
And bringing him in from plugging him out from the back and into the front. And
the only backdoor I think Diddy hasn't been in.
Oh!
True.
Because I'm a racist.
So basically, right now you don't feel loosened up yet. So are you waiting to feel a little bit loosened up when
Beba oil.
Just to let you know, I'm sitting on a fire hydrant right now.
Oh,
Why are we not surprised?
Comfortably.
comfortable. Oh, that's good. Oh.
Let's go back to school.
So every single time that like my buddy Mac does an impression of Adam Sandler, it's from this movie.
Well, yeah.
Stop looking at me, Schwan.
It's one of his most imitatable movies. Between this, Happy Gilmore, and maybe could even argue Waterboy at third place. Though some would probably say Wedding Singer. For me,
it's one of my
Wedding
favorites.
Singer to me is his favorite.
That's your favorite?
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe one day we'll do the Wedding Singer. Maybe. Or Deuce Piccolo, Namek Gigolo. Oh, that's Rob Schneider. What am I doing? What am I saying? I do want to do the Water Boy though one day. I really do. nice photo, Gerry. Gerry's the only man who looks forward to his digital. He probably gets a countdown going for that shite. Do you not, Gerry?
I missed what you said because I had somebody else talking. That's why I went off camera. So what did you say? Repeat yourself. I'm sorry.
I say you probably have a countdown to when this happens. Is that right?
No, who looks forward to his digital prostate exam? You goddamn right. That's like what? Once a year? Once every 7 years? Some shit like that? My doctor.
Right?
I have not had, because I went through my 40s, through my 50s, and doctors kept going, we need to do your prostate exam. And I'm like, okay, whenever you're ready. Nothing. I still haven't had my exam yet. And I'm like, I'm going to fucking die before they figure out, we need to do a proctal exam on this guy. Get that little camera up in his poop hole.
So Juggalo.
Wonder what he died of. I can tell you what the odds are.
Juggalo Deathcock has dropped on in. How's it going, dude? He says, Little Nicky. You know what? I'm going to say I freaking love Little Nicky. I saw that in theaters. That was wonderful.
It was my least favorite of the films.
Oh, stop. It's so much
after
better
Wedding
than stuff
Singer,
like Big Daddy and that thing with the remote.
I liked Big Daddy. Fuck you. As a single dad.
The only thing that was good was the Hawaiian Punch Fountain. Other than that, it was just another movie.
Happy Gilmore is my second favorite, Adam.
Oh, no. Happy Gilmore is classic. Straight up. Happy Gilmore is like the freaking move, man. I mean,
this one and Little Nicky are two of my least favorites because I'm not a fan of the exaggerated characters that he plays. I prefer them when he plays something closer to who he is.
Oh, but you know what? See it? Okay, now we're gonna get into this now with with Billy Madison. For Adam Sandler, at this time now, he may have changed since 1995 because it's been 29 years since this movie came out. At the time when this came out, this movie for him, what he said, this was a movie where he thought he was being the most himself. Like this was almost like a self-insert for him because of who he was as a person. So at the
back
time,
then I could see that. Back then I could see it, but he changed as a person over the years.
I think dude, it took me out of it. Like with the drama stuff he started getting involved, I was just like, bro, you're a comedian, and I wouldn't accept him. I'm going
to defend the fact that he was actually proving he can be an actor.
Sure,
and
it does.
He can act.
I don't disagree, but I don't care about that. It's just like I want it to be funny and stupid.
Yeah, you only want him to be your clown.
I want my mayhem and hijinks. I want my clown.
Yeah, performing monkey.
Yeah, I want him to be my monkey. All right. He's a freaking jester. And I say that with respect to Adam Sandler, but he was a jester, just like most actors are. Okay.
Son, you're about as useful as a cock-flavored lollipop.
No, some people might like that. Not that there's anything wrong.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
No. It's okay. We'll get into the actual story aspect because I caught this around middle school, right when I was getting to movies like this, Happy Gilmore. I saw these two before I saw stuff like The Water Boy and everything else that came out, that Little Nicky and all. Then he started getting all weird dramatization, like, oh, of course, but before Wedding Singer. To me, these were the go-to movies for a while. Like, it was like a Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore. If I want to watch some entertainment for a while, and of course I remember him because of initially from SNL, and he originally got this movie going because he had issues on SNL. Why did I say NSL?
Oh, he was fired.
My outfit's wrong. Yeah, straight up fired. Yeah, he's straight up fired. And he's just like, okay, well, I'll get my own flick going. Apparently, I can't. Who was the company that did SNL then? I think was it ABC?
NBC has always done.
All right, NBC. Always. Sorry, I haven't watched this show.
As far as the firing part, I don't remember much about that, but I do remember a lot of this movie was probably more predicated and banked on the fact that Sandler had a huge album at that time.
Mm-hmm.
He had broken through with the comedy album and probably still has one of the biggest selling comedy albums of all time with that one.
Mm-hmm.
And mainly because of the Lunch Ladyland song.
Speaking of which,
exactly.
Yeah,
like,
buddy.
yeah, so that was,
stop it, Joe.
That was the big thing then, and he had the video on MTV, and so he was really, really, really big with the college crowd. So he was doing like the tours at the colleges and stuff like that. And so this movie came about, and because that's the weird thing about him being fired, because I could have swore, I thought Lorne Michaels was one of the producers, but either way.
Well, apparently they were not a fan of his antics.
I could be wrong.
His antics are very offensive.
But they brought him back, right? Because he was back for a few years, wasn't he?
I didn't keep track in the late 90s. So if he did come back, I was all right, because they were losing a lot of those types of people at that time. You know, the Snyders.
Well, the odd thing is
Harleys.
We need to point out that, you know, the showrunner, which is Lorne Michaels, isn't the one who fired him or Norm Macdonald. He was fired by NBC executives, and in fact, Norm was fired by the head of NBC at the time, who was close friends.
Okay, so yeah, you're right. Yeah, he was fired because Sandler used firing as part of his monologue when he returned in 2019. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember exactly what it was all about. So
well, for him to get fired by companies like that, I call that honor. To me, that's like, bro, you go, dude. You freaking got fired by a company for being basically he got fired for being awesome. Come on.
Well, and I mean, at this time, like, here's the thing that people got to understand, and I mean, even in hindsight now, especially. Like, this is arguably probably the second best SNL cast we ever had. When you go through the names.
Movie?
No, in this era.
In this era.
Sandler was
Oh, yeah.
You had Farley, obviously. You had him. You had Dana Carvey. Phil Hartman was still there. You had David Spade.
Mm-hmm.
You had...
Chris Farley was one of them that was fired, too.
Yeah, you had Norm Macdonald. You had... gosh, I'm sure I'm missing 100 more fucking...
It was a lot. Seriously,
this was like one of the best casts since the original cast.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though you had like the Billy Crystal years and the Eddie Murphy years, those casts were still pretty lackluster aside from the main.
Well, yeah, because all you had was exceptions to the rule, then not a full, well-rounded cast. This was at a time where it was a very well-rounded cast, to the point where you would have constant movies that were normally just skits that became movies. I mean, look no further.
I mean, when your worst skits are like It's Packed skits and shit like that, like that's saying something, because like even those were still decent enough. And I mean, yeah, this era was pretty damn good. And yeah, so Sandler and Chris Farley, Mike Myers obviously was another name I just forgot. Yeah, and he had kind of hit pay dirt first, right? Because he had the first successful SNL film with Wayne's World. And so Sandler kind of shot out like a cannon with Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore.
Michael films, by the way. Adam Sandler's films were all his.
Okay, so yeah, I looked that up too, and I see that now.
Mm-hmm.
So like, because I remember this movie just kind of came together, and it was always an Adam Sandler movie from beginning to end. Because I don't remember anybody else ever being part of it. He co-wrote it. He had a cast in mind, although half the cast didn't come together the way he wanted it to. He even had a director in mind that I know the original director got fired after a few days by the studio, and they brought in the CB4 director to direct. Speaking of CB4, yeah, even Chris Rock was part of that cast too, if I remember right. That's what I'm saying. Like that cast was just fucking immense. Like it was huge.
Yeah.
Like it was a great cast.
Well, go ahead, Tom.
I think even Dennis Miller was still part of that cast. And
that's
Dennis
another
Miller
great
left
name. Dennis
at the
Miller.
top of his
Holy
game. He left on
blood.
his own accord, and he went off to do things on his own. And he
Mhm,
wanted to
mhm.
focus on doing either stand-up or developing.
Oh,
a
you
new
forgot to
show,
mention
which
Dana
really did.
fucking Carvey.
Oh no, you
Oh my
mentioned
God,
him.
yeah.
You mentioned
Did
him.
you? Oh God.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
I
did.
thought I
No,
did,
you
but
did, Tom. You mentioned Dana Carvey. That's
I
all.
don't
you
remember
did.
if I did or not. That's why I was like, shit, did I
Okay.
mention Carvey? But
And
yeah.
look, there's something else I want to point out about Adam Sandler because he stayed close to all of his closest comrades from that period, and he's basically kept them fed for decades by producing
yeah.
their film and shit.
Well, and not only
those
producing their
guys, when
films,
he
but I
gets a
also
movie going. He takes a lot of his friends with him and
on
he takes
vacation.
them
Yeah.
for tons of movies.
That's
And,
the
hey,
funny thing about him is
awesome.
he will get a studio to pay for their vacation because while they're on vacation, they're going to make a movie.
Yeah, you're
That's
right. Because
really
like him
what
and
it is.
Farley, I think him and Farley were just getting too big for their britches. As part of it too, because Lorne Michaels also had this thing where when certain people would get too big for the show, he'd kind of just let them go. Because he kind of did the same thing to a lot of the guys over the years, so that could have been part of it too. But
I mean, that sounds fair.
Sandler
but
just
I
had hit
see
after
why
hit
he
after
let
hit.
them go at that point, because when you start to affiliate the name first before the show, you become like a larger than life personality where you almost like outgrow the show. It's like, okay, you're ready for other things now. You've done your time here, you've peaked, and
well, basically up through. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, he's had the most successful post SNL career outside of the original cast, and well, Eddie Murphy being the other one, being the one with the most successful career, probably.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, because you think about it, he had Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, right, and then he did Wedding Singer and Waterboy in the same year. The only one he did in between there that kind of
the same. I thought that.
yeah,
I thought
Wedding Singer and
99.
Waterboy were
I
the
thought Wedding
same
Singer was
fucking year,
98.
98. Yep, no,
They're
they're both 98.
98. I
Yeah,
thought Waterboy was
Waterboy
99.
Nope, 98.
What?
Or was it
Oh,
99?
And I like
I could have
Waterboy a
sworn it
lot.
was 98.
I love that movie.
But
Captain
Bulletproof was the
Insano.
only one of those movies that he did in that era that kind of hiccuped. And then he didn't have another hiccup until Little Nicky, basically. But then he made a comeback with 50 First Dates and a few other ones. But like,
Yeah, that
I mean,
fucking 50 First Dates got me. I love that movie.
Well, and that's where he found his
Soundtrack.
groove for a little while. And of course, he got Acclaim with things like, Punch Drunk Love and all that. But we'll talk about Acclaim and whatnot later. But yeah, no. So
Well,
this movie,
see,
do
I
we have a
will
clip show
defend
for this
his
movie or no?
dramatic films, dude, because Punch Drunk Love is like one of those films that I identify with because I have 3 obnoxiously annoying fucking sisters. And I totally identified how they just constantly try to overpower me to the point where I just walked away from them. I'm like, I'm done with this toxic bullshit you guys do. And when I saw that movie, it just came out of nowhere for me. And I was like, fuck, man. They really showed what it's like to be browbeat by older sisters.
Well, in Adam Sandler's kind of style of comedy and Jim Carrey's style of comedy, which were both probably the two bigger, and besides Mike Myers at this period, as far as comedy goes, and this was pre Austin Powers, so he had only done Wayne's World and such. I mean, this was a kind of a new era of comedy where like these guys were coming in and changing the way comedy movies were. I mean, this was kind of like the next generation. Like they were the handing down of the baton from like Bill Murray and Chevy Chase and
yeah, because you
Richard
remember back in the
Pryor
80s, they had that whole crew that got fired because they were so bad, which includes Robert Downey Jr. and Randy Quaid.
Yeah,
just a horrible, ugly period. That was when Lorne Michaels left, and it was being run by I forget who the fuck it was, and it just was not good. And inevitably, Lorne Michaels came back, and he's been there ever since. But I do want to point out that it was NBC executives that fired pretty much all of them, except for Norm Macdonald. He was fired personally by Don Ohlmeyer, the head of NBC, because he fucking hated him. Because even though he had the #1 spot in the history of SNL for the Weekend Update, the best version, every guy that's done Weekend Update says the best was Norm Macdonald. That was when it was at its best. And he got fired because he wouldn't let up on Bill Clinton and O.J. Simpson.
Oh, dude.
My favorite
he won't on O.J. Simpson the same way Tom don't let up on Zack Snyder. It was a gift that kept on giving, but it was always deserved. As repetitive as it was nevertheless deserved. It was always warranted. Yeah, he seriously, O.J. Norm Macdonald, he made a sport that he should have been in the freaking World Cup for that shit.
Well, he and Adam stayed close all the way until his death, and he produced much of what Norm did over his career, including Dirty Works, which is one of my favorite films of all time.
I was going to say some of Sandler's best films aren't even the ones he's in. Some of his best stuff is
like
the
The
stuff
Animal.
he's produced.
I fucking love The Animal.
Well, and even the one about the Playboy Bunny, that one's even a better film than it had a right to be, with what's her face. Oh shit, House Bunny or whatever it's called.
Yeah, House Bunny.
So Billy Madison is basically, he's a full-grown adult who still acts like a kid. Sounds very familiar. You might be talking a little bit about some of the guys on the panel, except he has
he's
dad.
A kidult.
Yeah, he a kidult. I like that.
It's Dirty Arthur. Come on, it's Dirty Arthur.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up, because really it is a very immature child.
They even have a bathtub scene, Tom.
Teen-friendly Arthur, basically. You're right. It even has that bathtub scene, which I'm glad you pointed this out, because I've always drew the comparison. It's very much like, it's like Arthur goes to school.
Arthur goes to school. There you go.
You want to know how Billy's basically a big kid? I think this great gateway scene just shows off, because you see all the other guys he's surrounded by.
The slurping.
His dad runs a Fortune 500
this is basically
company.
an Arthur scene, right? Like, this is when Arthur's dad's trying to talk to him, and he's like, well, you know, Dad, but it's just Adam Sandler being Adam Sandler going, I got Frank's shirt on.
I personally
love
think
how
that
the guys
this is
are
Adam
eating.
This is Adam Sandler's impression of Dudley Moore.
Well, go ahead, let's play it.
Yeah.
What I love is, like, his dad's friend, his one dad's like right-hand man, just loves Billy, right? Like, you can tell.
Yeah, I love it. How his
he just
dad's
has
best
this
friend
little
actually
soft
like
spot
he's
for
the
him.
only one who's that finds it amusing. Everyone else is just like, how could you have this son and you're this, high-end guy who has this really successful company? And like, everyone's kind of like, really quiet, elegant with the way they, drink this soup. And he has this, they all their spoon like that, and he's just doing this. He has the way his fingers are positioned. He's really loud about it too. It's hilarious.
He's eating also. Look at where on the spoon he's eating. He's draining the soup out.
He's dumping most
really
of it out.
eating.
Yeah. Just so he can make more noise. But
noise. It's about the noise. And Bradley I want to say something. Bradley Whitford is just such
Hey, Carl, what's up?
Hey, Carl.
Straight man.
Carl, yeah, Carl likes him. He likes Carl, and Carl likes him. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like they're, and even though the supporting cast don't have like the most amount of lines, what they do have is great and very fun.
There's
and I love
Bradley.
this response to this.
Fall asleep or
I
did you
choose
pass out?
business ethics. Shut up.
That's Bradley Whitford. I love that guy. He is so good with the comedy, and nobody can play an asshole like him.
No, he's a great asshole. The only one who comes close, and this is where Adam's good at picking his adversaries, like Derek McGavin and or not what's his face? Shooter McGavin. Yeah, Shooter McGavin in the second film. The guy who plays him, what's his name? Because Darren McGavin's in this movie. No. The guy who plays Shooter McGavin in Happy Gilmore. The golfer.
Let me look it up.
Nice talking to you.
I can't think of his name.
Donald. I know that guy. Yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah.
He's also the villain in Dirty Works with Norm Macdonald.
Yes. This is one of the first times I felt like I saw a comedy that was made for our generation, right? That was also what I was getting at before too.
Oh yeah,
Like,
it's when you watch, his style and his craziness.
This and Ace
that was
Ventura,
a lot of
Dumb
the
and
guys-
Dumber, all of that time. Yeah.
They were all into that very physical, very expressive way of comedy, where it wasn't really always just about the talk and what was being said, but it was about what they're doing with their bodies and their movements. And Adam Sandler liked to be unhinged the same way Jim Carrey was. And like a lot of those guys, Chris Farley, another guy who was very physical on the comedy.
Yeah, because this came out pretty close to Tommy Boy as well.
Yeah. It says copyright strike incoming. And
probably.
Yeah.
Hopefully just a claim.
I don't need.
Yeah, we need to get rid of that guy.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that right now. Yep, gone.
Trouble.
Yeah, I don't need that. I definitely do not need you doing that. So, but yeah, anyways, folks, I chose that scene in particular because it's a good idea to get you an idea of who Billy Madison is. Kid who lives with his dad. Dad's successful company. Billy still acts like a kid, and even surrounded by bigwigs, he still acts the exact same way. And he's got it made. He's literally got it made, and he even got out of school because his dad had to basically beg for his teachers to pass him because he just doesn't care at all. He's just like this I don't care guy. Oh, here we go again. Wow, this is commitment here. This is serious commitment.
Yeah.
First it was an outing, and then
what we got a friggin' troll for? Jeez.
Yeah, I don't usually ever get these, like ever. I don't get, but anyways, continuing.
I guess we
I
hit
haven't
the big
gotten them
time.
in a while.
Yeah, right.
I blame Gerry. Let's blame Gerry.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'll blame backdoor Gerry as well, but
I want that in my ass.
basically, now that his dad, who's played by the dad in the Christmas Story, great actor by the way, I love that.
Darren
McGavin to play Brian Madison. He wants to pass the company. What the
Jesus Christ! I don't think I got a wrench. I can't do anything. Or do I? Do I?
You should have.
I guess I do. Yeah, I just can't do it from the StreamYard side.
Yeah, no, it's got to be on the StreamYard side.
But no, JDC brings up a good point. Yeah, I know next week would have been great because October is Nudie Magazine Day.
But yeah. Anyways, now I finally get to my thing. Yeah, basically, he's got his dad wants to pass on the company because he was hoping initially they could pass this company on to his son, but his son he's a screw up. He's a screwball. He has more than a few loose
half
screws.
retarded.
This movie also
yeah.
Shares something else in common with Tommy Boy. I don't know if you guys knew this. Did we do Tommy Boy yet on Toxic
No,
Tuesday? We
have not. We got there. We will. We will.
Tommy Boy's original name was not Tommy. It was Billy. And basically, like the original name of Tommy Boy was like Billy. What the hell was it? Little Billy something.
Yeah, I don't have a
I
wrench.
can't remember.
You need to get me a wrench.
I don't remember. I got rid of him, and I can't remember what it was. But either way, like, yeah, they had to change the name of Billy to Tommy because of Billy Madison.
Wow.
Yeah,
I did not know that. Okay.
Yep.
That is fascinating.
Well, and it was a play on, I think there was like an old commercial with Levi, like little Billy couldn't fit into his jeans or something like that, or something like that. Anyway.
All right. I got
but anyhow,
I will wrench you. Hold on.
Boot you.
Go ahead and keep chatting. Let me.
If I were doing it, I'd probably kick me just for a joke.
I don't understand why we're drawing a troll anyway. What the fuck's the point?
That is so weird.
We got
I've never
a
seen
super
that on
chat.
this show.
Tina Guzman, how you been?
Tina Guzman, look at that.
She says, "Hail Nick, Tom, and Gerry. Happy
right.
Monday, fellas." Well, it is Tuesday. Where are you at that it's Monday?
All right, Gerry. Post a comment.
She's in the past somewhere. Wow. Talking to us in the future.
Wrench now. Did it go through?
Wow. Actually, I was 15 when Billy Madison came out. Monkey Jeebus.
All right. Yeah. Tina Guzman for $2 says, Hail Nick, Tom, and Gerry. Happy Monday, fellas. Well, it's Tuesday, but thank you anyways. Thank you for the $2. Thank you for being here and
I got
supporting
my
the
wrench.
show. You got the
Doyle
wrench?
rules.
Yes. Oh,
Just
Doyle
one more
rules.
thing I could stick up my ass.
Oh.
Jeez.
God,
He's got to be
dude,
sticking shit up your ass.
that's gonna get, you know,
Always.
that's gonna hurt.
You're worse
eventually.
than Frank.
It's my way, my
That's
species' way
Frank,
of
I get it.
smelling things is through my ass.
Speaking of Frank, did you know
Tasting
that
it.
Norm Macdonald is drunk through most of this movie for
Yeah.
real?
Yes.
Yeah. He actually is drunk through most of the. No, when we talked about one of his deleted scenes, he almost
Please.
got with Miss Lippy in one of the deleted scenes. The first grade teacher.
Oh wait, I was going to tell his joke that one of them that got him in so much trouble because he got him and his writer fired by Don Ohlmeyer, and the joke was about O.J. Simpson, where they, he says today the his attorney stood up and was holding a ski cap, and as he's talking with his hands, Norm says at that point, O.J. Simpson got upset and says, "Hey man, be careful with that. That's my happy stabbing or my lucky stabbing hat."
Jesus.
That got him in so much hot water. That joke got him in hot water.
Oh, Jesus.
That's my lucky stabbing hat.
What? Yeah, I don't know how much more room Gerry does have up there, but yeah. Anyways, Billy Madison.
That's artist.
Speaking of Darren McGavin, though, because we just brought him up here.
Bring him up.
This movie was kind of similar in a sense to his other big comedy film that he's known for, Christmas Story. In that it didn't open great. It did okay. I mean, like Billy Madison didn't do horrible. It actually did 2.5 its box office, what his budget was. And it did 25 million at that time, which was not bad for a comedy at all. It actually did very decently. But what it did do is later on became huge on video and on cable, much like Christmas Story did with the, perennial factor with Christmas Story. And I love like just the fact that it's, the similar role, him being the dad, that kind of thing. And I love when he gets pissed at Billy because it just reminds me of when he plays, the dad in Christmas Story. He's like, God damn it, Billy.
No, what's great because he's Brian Madison, and he obviously he wants to give the company, and now all of a sudden he was going to originally give it to Mr. Gordon, aka Eric Gordon, and then Billy's just like, I'll take the company, I'll go to school, I'll go back to school. And he's just like, you're actually coherent enough to think like that. And the funny
he
part
wasn't
is,
initially going to give him the company, but he was going to basically, make it to where he didn't have to worry about working another day in his life. But still, yeah.
And he was going to, he's like, okay, well, hey, if you can impress me and do this 2 weeks each class, I'll give it to you. The funny part about it, do you know who almost was in this role and not Darren McGavin? Apparently, Adam Sandler initially wanted Charles Bronson in this movie to play.
Fuck off.
Yeah, Charles Bronson passed on the role. It's not really said why he passed, so it wasn't like we don't know if it was positive or negative or bad timing.
There's a lot of possible casting rumors that I don't know which ones are real or not, but yeah.
Here's why I believe the Charles Bronson one. I believe the Charles Bronson one because if you look at what's his face, Happy Gilmore, he got on Muscular Dude with Carl Weathers for Chubbs. So why not have another badass be another father?
He came back for Little Nicky.
Yeah. So I actually believe that. I actually believe the Charles Bronson one because that one to me seems like a very Sandler move to bring a guy.
One I do believe is that he wanted
masculine.
He wanted Bob Odenkirk for one of the roles, but
I heard about that. Bob Odenkirk. I heard about that. Which role?
Well, yeah, because at that point,
would have been back when Bob was younger. He probably would have been an asshole.
He wanted him for the bad guy. What's his name?
Gordon.
Bradley Whitford's part.
Because when he was younger, he had that yuppie preppy look to him, and he would have been a good.
Well, yeah, but he wasn't well known enough yet. Then he was just a writer on SNL, and I don't even think he was even a.
Tenacious D, his association with Tenacious D, because he did the show what was that comedy show with Larry? Oh man.
Well, he had a couple things that
HBO
kinda,
special. They lasted 2 seasons.
Yeah, there was a few things he did.
The
that kind of put him on
Mr.
the
Show
map,
with
but
Bob
yeah.
and Dave.
Yeah, that's it.
The
And then
Mr. Show with Bob and Dave.
What else did he do? There was something else just before then that he did too. I'm trying to remember.
Well, as I recall,
they just weren't ready for him yet. But yeah,
no, it wasn't that, because I know Jack Black got his start with the Foo Fighters on camera.
Really?
no, he's been around for a while.
He's been in movies, but I'm talking about when he got to be Jack Black. Jack Black was
Well,
with
his big
that.
breakout was High Fidelity, but
Yeah, because he plays the guy that works in the record shop that can sing like a motherfucker,
yeah.
and he can.
But
Okay.
he had already kind of done the whole. He had kind of done the whole Tenacious D
Well, he
thing
had come
before.
up. He was in acting school with the guy that plays the jackass villain in High Fidelity. That's sleeping with his ex.
Yeah, Odenkirk had
like
popped up
Bob
in a lot
Robinson.
of shit, like just minor shit. And I knew I tried to. There was something else that kind of put him on the map, but I was trying to remember what it was.
Oh, well, you're trying to remember what it
Yeah.
was. Tina Guzman for another $2 says, I was sick Monday. I have my days mixed up. It is all good. You did not have to super chat that, but thank you for doing that anyways for another 2. Hey, Sean Eastup. What's up, Sean? Nice to see you here, man. Good to see you in the chat. I've been wondering where you
Yes,
are.
he was on Ben Stiller. That's right.
Thank you for the
He's on
and
a
Ben-
bunch of shit.
and thank you for the
But there
comment.
was
as
something
well.
just before the show you were talking about on HBO that I'm trying to remember what it was.
Let me go
Well,
take a look.
anyway.
It's amazing. We do have an internet.
Yeah, right.
I am
we
looking.
have
I'm
the
trying to
internet
find
to
it,
help.
but
Well, while you do
I'm
it,
just
let's
looking
play a
at Bob
funny clip.
Odenkirk IMDb.
okay, because you were talking about the Tim and Eric Are Awesome show. Okay, that's where there it is, right there. Okay, so now I'm going back.
Huge. Yes. So
Yeah.
obviously Billy starts school and he gets this teacher and he's thinking, okay, I gotta try and make myself look good because he realizes this
Unless
kid
I'm
he
thinking
was
of
giving
somebody
crap
else.
to. Oh, hey, I thought that was his sister. It turns out to be his mom. So he's trying to play the I got to impress her card, and it backfires greatly when the teacher shows up.
Stop. Come on, honey.
Thank you very much, Miss Lippy.
I love how he walked in,
Whoopsies.
Miss Lippy, like doing some weird like dance. Well, when he went to recess, he immediately got hit by a kickball, and he goes in the room and he sees she's like doing this like. I was like, wow, okay, this teacher's fascinating. Yeah, and once again, in the delete scenes we were mentioning earlier, Norm Macdonald's character was trying to hook up with Miss
Too
Lippy.
damn hot
like-
for a penguin to just be walking around.
Dude,
I love the whole penguin scene. That's crazy.
So when Adam Sandler is saying how at the time this is the closest to who he was in real life, so basically you could maybe make the argument that he's basically being a self-insert here.
Oh, he kind of
that mean
invented
Adam
the frat boy
Sandler-
humor kind of thing, right? Like, I
Oh.
mean, yes, you had Animal House and stuff like that before this, but I mean, him, Farley, they really played into this quote-unquote frat boy humor.
Yeah,
And that's exactly what I would constitute it as,
yeah,
right? It's these guys who just
I would
can't
agree.
grow up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. Okay, what was I going to get to with?
I'm
with
sorry,
my-
I didn't mean to.
It's
disrupt your
okay. No,
thought.
it's okay. I know we're just kind of like chatting and thinking.
Well, you had things you wanted to
simultaneously.
go through here. Like you
I
keep
will
talking
tell
about
you
the
this with
deleted
Bob
scenes.
Odenkirk. He was close friends with Tom Arnold,
Oh,
and he worked with him a few times.
Maybe that's what
So-
because I was just say I know he'd been around and he's one of those guys. He's like he was a comedian's comedian. Like everybody knew him. Everybody had worked with him. He just couldn't
Well, that's a
quite
good way of
catch a
saying
break.
it.
And then
Because
he got
comics knew who he was.
exactly, and then
knew
he
who he was.
finally got his break with Breaking Bad. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got to tell you something, man. I had no idea how white you were until you opened that shirt up.
Oh, he's white. He's almost Wisconsin white.
You get that farmer tan going on.
I do this look for Toxic Tuesday. Basically, this is why
So
I do
toxic.
this look.
We don't see a lot of sun up here.
So did you catch my joke about you earlier, Tom? That I said to you a few times. I said, when I want to do a drawing of Tom, all I have to do is put my thumb up and then I just draw my thumb.
Well, I've heard that a few times from people. I look like a thumb. I'm used to it. I could have probably got a job in Thumb Wars.
Thumb Wars, yeah. Why didn't we get a sequel? Talk about another guy that just sort of disappeared.
Who?
He did Kung Pao and nothing.
Yeah, that
we had
guy.
nothing more from him. So Tom, I just looked. He did the Jackie Thomas Show. Was one of his early real.
Yeah, I
moments.
looked through all his early stuff. Nothing stuck out to me. But
Roseanne, and then he was on the Tom Arnold Show. Three times he got to work with Tom
Steve
Arnold.
Odenkirk is the guy you're thinking. Odenkirk.
Odenkirk.
And that
yeah.
might be who I'm getting him mixed up with too, because that guy has also done a bunch of shit. So
A lot of
he did the
Nickelodeon
Thumb
stuff.
Wars and stuff.
Yeah,
like
he
that.
did Bat Thumb.
Thumbtanic and Bat Thumb. Yeah, and Bat Thumb.
Bat Thumb.
This is a little creepy, but
It is creepy as fuck.
it still works because it's kind of adorable at the same time.
Well, when you hear
It pays
just
off
leave
at
it
the
in
end,
isolation that Adam Sandler's love interest is his third grade teacher. If you say that hear that statement out of context, and you're hearing that that's a kid, you're thinking, "Whoa, what's going on with that teacher?" Like what? Because obviously it's Mrs. Vaughn from why am I forgetting her now? Bridget Wilson. So I was like,
She's from Mortal Kombat and a bunch of other
yeah,
things,
Sonya Blade, which she actually originally thought she wasn't going to get the Sonya Blade role because she chose this movie first. And it turns out, well, she still was able to get that movie. So she was able to complete this movie and then do that one anyway. So
Well, I think this is also an incident where I think they had somebody else cast initially. I'm trying to find the name here, but then I can't find it. But yeah, because she came in, I think, when they already started shooting as a recap after the other director left too. Because they had already shot for like 3 or 4 days when they recast and got a new director in.
Yeah, because Tamara is the one that's credited. Who is the other director?
It was Steven. What the hell was it? Steven, and he has no other credits that I could see here. Steven Kessler, and it was somebody that Sandler wanted, but they didn't like his dailies.
You don't like his dailies?
And they got a woman to direct this film, by the way. A woman
Tamara
director.
Davis, who
Yeah,
had more of like a
CD4.
music video history mostly.
Yeah. Okay, so this is what Steven has directed otherwise, guys.
Go ahead.
Nothing really of note aside from one film. Laughing at Fat People, which is a short film. Paul Williams Still Alive, which he was the director of.
I like that documentary.
That's as I say, it looks like it's a documentary. The Independent, whatever
good.
that is. Birch Street Gym, which is a short film, and Vegas fucking Vacation, the worst National Lampoon's movie that is not a National Lampoon's movie ever.
I don't think I ever seen it.
Oh, it's
I've never
horrible.
even heard of this.
Vegas Vacation, you guys don't remember that one? That was one that came out in the 90s.
I thought you were talking about his documentary was really bad.
No. The fucking movie Vegas Vacation, the one that
I
took
remember
the National Lampoon's name off it. Yeah. Yeah, it's horrible.
know.
It's like it said, "Hey, European Vacation, hold my beer."
Oh, that's
And then it said, "Just
funny.
wait till the remake. I'm gonna suck until then."
I'm going to tell you something. You said this, and I have to say it, that
Say it.
despite itself, I enjoy certain parts of European Vacation, especially
I
Eric
love
Idle's
European
scene.
Vacation unapologetically.
I love the scene with Eric Idle.
Which is funny because Vegas Vacation, they bring his character back.
Oh my God, the teacher.
Yeah.
And this pays
That is
off
so
later
creepy.
too. That's what I said. If it wasn't for this, otherwise this scene just is kind of like weird, but like then it pays off. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to mute this. You do not want
P.S.
to
I'm
play
horny. The Cars will come get you. Who is that? I can't remember who's that song is. It's hard to tell because it's like recorded off the TV from somebody's phone.
That's just so bad. Why did
Yeah,
they
the critical
take that out?
response to this movie and a lot of the frat humor at that time was very much not. It didn't resonate very well with the critics. And I
Yeah,
gotta say, I think the critics were just kind of like
Fuck the critics.
yelling.
They don't.
They were like
determine
old
whether
men
a
yelling
film
at
is loved.
clouds with this stuff, right? It's like
speaking
I
of
didn't understand
critics-
the ship that made my kid laugh. Yeah, and I was gonna segue for you there.
Yeah, no, thank you for doing that. So we get to hear Siskel and Ebert's reaction to Billy Madison.
Which I guess this really did bother Adam Sandler big time for a while.
Really, he probably was like a big fan of them. Must have looked up.
I don't know
to
if he was just so
them.
much of a fan, but he just felt like he really fucked up.
Oh, well, I disagree with these guys, even though I enjoy them for the most part. But yeah, let's take a look at this clip. It's not long.
Latest entry in the Dumb and
Well, they
Dumber
were
American movie sweepstakes with Adam.
Go ahead, Gary.
They were sort of back before the interweb. When you wanted to know stuff about movies, you watched Siskel and Ebert, Gene Shalit on TV. Those are the two, and Arch Campbell for NBC. You'd watch those guys, and that was because they would go in depth into what's going on with these films, and that was that and Starlog was pretty much it for us. For
Yeah, well,
information.
what helped with guys like these, even if they had a lot of reviews I didn't agree with, they had reviews I could tell they were being honest, and also those two were not afraid to disagree with each other. And even if I disagree with
they
both
argued
of them,
quite a bit.
it always made for entertaining conversation, and it felt like that was the closest thing to not being shows while still having a reputation in Hollywood, because usually the more deeper you're linked into Hollywood, the more likely you're unfortunately to be a shill, because you get more compromised when you have more fingers in other people's pies. And yes, I did say that to make the show sound really gay. So, anyways, yeah, let's play this clip and see what Siskel and Ebert thought about Billy Madison.
Sandler, opera man from Saturday Night Live, playing the often drunk heir to a big fortune, who makes a bet with his exasperated dad if he goes back to school and can pass grades 1 through 12 in just 6 months, he can take over dad's firm and keep it out of the hands of a jerky executive.
For a second, like he says, take it out of dad's sperm and not dad's firm, because obviously he's trying to talk about his company. But when I heard it, I'm like going, dad's sperm. So I'll carry the clip. I just want to add that in.
And so we see such dismal scenes as this. Adam Sandler as Billy Madison throwing dodgeballs real hard at little kids.
And he really did, by the way.
Yeah.
Those kids look like they're
Apparently
getting
they had
hurt.
to do a bunch of quick shot angly parts.
Some
like
of the kids were crying and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he was tagging them.
Oh, there's a part of Adam Sandler that I'm sure there's a little bit of guilt, but there's a little bit of this is kind of kick ass because I could do this and
Pure
actually
fucking
get away with
comedy.
it.
Go for it.
And then
I
there's
always
come
felt
out
like
with
this
beautiful
scene
third-grade
inspired
teacher,
the movie
Nike, played by
Dodgeball.
newcomer
Maybe that. Do I? Man, I were you not here when we did Dodgeball? Oh, that was such a fun show.
No, I
when we
was
did
not.
Dodgeball.
Well, and not
I
only
love
that,
that
I think it was
movie.
just part of the fact that dodgeball is just kind of a part of a pair of generations
Childhood.
there that
Yep.
yeah
We all
that
played it.
is just exactly yeah. Kickball and dodgeball were two things that I think
Dodge,
that were-
dip, duck, dive, and dodge.
you said dodge twice.
Wilson.
Okay, so let's all open up our Reading is Fun books to page 69.
69.
That's another reason why I loved. Okay, now think about this for a minute. That joke, there's no way that would have made it on the network TV version at that time, probably.
No.
But Siskel and Ebert could get away with this shit all the time, and I loved watching because they would show clips, like full fucking clips.
They're on
We didn't have the
PBS,
internet,
man.
kids.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, originally they were. Then they went to syndicated, but yeah, Disney actually bought them. Buena Vista Television did.
No shit.
But they had it in their contracts that Disney could not influence their fucking reviews.
Wow, I did not know that about their contract, Tom.
Because they said that that's the only way we'll sign with you, because it was a syndicated contract through Buena Vista. It would make them a buttload of money. But they said,
I bet you Disney.
we need
when
it
they-
in
when-
writing that you guys are not going to try and influence our reviews.
Here was Disney when that happened. Winking.
And then they were
Come
like,
on.
no, fucking test us.
Now, she and Billy do hit it off inexplicably and play a history test version of strip poker.
Magna Carta.
Ooh.
15.
Oh,
The Chris Farley follow-up is
drinking
better.
problem. Billy Madison
That
doesn't
is
explain why Billy
correct.
acts like such a jerk so often. But then again, a decade ago, Stripes didn't have to explain why Bill Murray acted the fool in the army. My problem is that Murray's fool made me laugh. Adam Sandler's made me wince and want to leave the theater.
Oh,
And
shut
that's the
up.
problem, Gene. And look, I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, this ain't their generation, man. This ain't their thing. I think this is old men yelling at clouds right now.
Dude, my dad.
It's sort of like their reaction to Blade Runner. They hated it.
I know
in
guys who are
82.
closer to my dad's age who are in their 60s, and they find this type of humor funny. And that's not their generation. And
It took a while for my dad to come around to Jim Carrey and Adam Sandler and shit. I mean, Chris Farley was a little bit easier for him to digest, but Chris Farley being a Wisconsin boy also helped.
But dude, that is seriously like I'm sorry. Like I there's the idea of respecting difference of opinion and agreeing disagreeing, but that just seems very disingenuous. I don't buy a comment like that.
Oh, I believe that they believe what they're saying.
Oh, I believe that too. I just
Am I
And
getting
it's
older,
not like they
or
were
do I have
alone.
taste?
I'm
Yeah,
like,
well, there you go. See, he's even asking himself these questions.
I think I have taste. Billy Madison is.
Oh,
Well, Gene has some of the worst takes on the show.
you probably like your wheat. You probably are the type of guy who would probably be drinking skinny soy gluten-free vegan latte right now if you could.
It's pretty late.
Maybe.
I think you have taste
I
too,
don't know.
Gene. You know, every once in a while, a critic is forced to go back and reevaluate his track record.
Yeah.
And after seeing Billy Madison
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
and Jerky Boys, Dumb and Dumber is beginning to look more and more like Citizen Kane to me.
Neither supposed to look like freaking Citizen Kane. They're just supposed to be crazy.
Well, what I think
all-out
is what he's
assault
saying
movies.
is that at that point I think they both.
I
shat
get it.
all
He's
over
trying
Dumb
to
and
say
Dumber,
that
but
this
yeah.
looks like a masterpiece compared to that. I get that part of it, but it's once again, these comparisons to me are absolutely needless because neither of these movies are trying to be those types of movies. If you're like a movie, like it for what it is. If you're gonna hate it for what it is. Don't hate it for what you're trying to like compare to and make it out to be. Anyway, we're talking good.
Well, Dumb and Dumber is a good picture.
I should have rated Dumb and Dumber a little higher to have more room underneath to shove these other pictures in. Adam Sandler has a problem, and that is he's not an attractive screen presence.
No,
he might have a few.
Shut up, dude. Many people of our time, and even some of our times, remember lines he said galore, and they could say, "Oh yeah, Adam Sandler at this time." We may all have our favorites, and some of us on this panel, we all have different favorites, but that's a good thing for Adam Sandler because it shows you how he had a pretty successful comedy career. Because sometimes some careers are not as hot when everyone has one unified opinion on the same thing. It's like, yeah, that's cool. We all agree. But when it's all unified, it makes it look like, hey, is so-and-so a one-hit wonder? Adam Sandler had different favorites to many different people. I don't know, for some of you guys, it was the Wang Singer. For me, I'm a Waterboy, Happy Gilmore type of guy. Obviously, then there's Gerry and his weird 51st Dates and Remote Movie and Big Daddy. But I forgive him. But you get the point, though. We have our different Sandler favorites. That shows you different eras and movies attract to the Sandlerites. I just came up with that name right now.
Future as a villain or as a fall guy or the butt of a joke, but as the protagonist, his problem is that he recreates the fingernails on the blackboard syndrome. You
Kind of
can't
obnoxious.
stand him.
Yeah, he's obnoxious.
Yeah.
And really, you don't have a good motivation.
You don't have a good dude. Getting the company out of the Gordon's wrong hands is the motivation. Also, to get him to straighten his own life up. So it's a win-win. Not only does he get a company and save his dad's company from being in the wrong corporatized hands, but also he betters himself on top of that, getting the girl, Mrs. Vaughn. There's several motivations. So it's making me angry.
For the character's behavior. They didn't even get to that level in the writing at all. When we come back, they're out of their 70s.
I mean,
made me frustrated.
I was just gonna say it's not like they were alone. All the critics went after this movie, and I get it.
Yeah, they all
Sometimes
did at the time.
You got to
Too
understand that
juvenile for
there's
them.
one word for movies like this and horror films, comedies like lowbrow comedies and horror films and titty comedies and shit like that. They're called critic proof. So it doesn't really fucking matter what the critics say.
Yeah.
Because these are the kind of movies that most of the time we know that, yeah, most critics are pretty pretentious and they see so many goddamn movies that the last thing they want to do is sit through something like Friday the 13th or Billy Madison. Right? It's just, I get it. And usually if they do give one of these movies a good review, it's rare and few in between. But now look, these guys did have, you know, a point in their lives where they had a sense of humor. Look, they liked Animal House and Stripes and Ghostbusters and all the classic comedies from back in the day. But they're old.
Yeah, they're boomering it. They're boomering
And I get
it.
There was a point where certain comedies I just wasn't into them. Now I could be right on certain parts, like those Not Another movies and stuff like that. I'm probably correct that they aren't very funny. But there's probably some other stuff in that era that I just, after my time, that I just don't get, that, you know, my kid probably thinks this is fucking hilarious, or, you know, his generation does. And I get that. So it is what it is. Like, he used to like PewDiePie shit and the Annoying Orange and what's that freaky kid
my
guy
daughter
that,
watched that fucking Annoying Orange
see
thing.
what I mean? Yeah. So we don't get it, but they do. To me, I could imagine something like Adam Sandler coming off like Annoying Orange to parents at that time.
Well,
not making excuses. I'm just saying I understand it. Especially once you become a parent too. I mean, and you got young kids yet, Nick. You'll see as you get older, especially as they start getting into their own shit.
And and there's things that they're into that I'm not wild about, and there's also things that thankfully I'm happy that they're not into that I absolutely despise. So I'm getting the best and worst of both worlds simultaneously. Luckily, the better part is balancing out the bad for now. It could get worse. Let's hope it doesn't, but we shall see.
Yeah, you got a whole new layer. At least before it was just, you know, is it appropriate or is it just annoying?
Oh,
right?
yeah. I know. That's a whole other.
You got all kinds of problems involved with it. We're not even going to get into because this is the show for it. But yeah.
But as you know, Billy's, you know, advancing through the grades, you know, doing time up the grades, he has his assistant, the maid at the home, and her name is Juanita. I think Juanita is one of the funniest characters in this movie because
you're my little snack pack. God, you're so weird.
Everything she says is a sexual retort towards Billy Madison, and this is one of my favorite ones right here. So
that is one of the weirdest parts of this movie, how everybody tries to turn Billy into some sort of sexual object. That does kind of seem like it's feeding into like Adam Sandler's ego a little bit.
Press. You want me to take my shirt off for you? No, thank you. Okay, baby. But remember, the offer is on the table.
Man, why didn't I have a mammy like that?
You wanted a mammy like that, Gerry? You wanted a mammy like that?
Well, when I look back at it now, yeah.
All right.
Fat bottom girls.
I'm gonna show off some great deleted scenes because there's some really great deleted scenes here, and this deserves a watch right here.
The fuck?
What the hell? Oh, this is a deleted scene. Never mind.
Oh, she's got some big ones.
She said, "Oh, she's got some big ones, but mine are bigger." Dude. This movie had a boatload of deleted scenes. I was just like, wow, they really went all in on this one. And I found one of Gerry's favorite deleted scenes right here. This one because this is probably where Billy gets really personal right here. He just continues to scratch relentlessly endlessly, and he won't let up. Gary, were you giving it to him? Because he won't let go.
You never know.
I'm just saying, it's been more a few seconds.
Well, I've heard Gary leaves a gift behind, and it rhymes with crabs.
Exactly, Tom. Crabs. For me, you never know when I'm going to pop up somewhere. Hey, it's Mecha J, Mecha Honey Ho.
Hey, Mecha J. And Darth Viewer comments randomly, Bluey is great. Yes, Bluey is great. I agree, Darth Viewer. Are you just watching it now? Let me know in the comments if you are. I'm glad. And what's up, Conan by Crom? Speaking of Conan, really quickly, Tom, is there gonna be another Conan video off for Sumerian month before you don't know yet? Because I know you've had 2 videos. You had the Red Sonja video, and you had the Conan.
I know I'm planning to do another Conan Barbarian. I was going to invite Tom and Andre on to talk about it again.
I was going to say, I don't know if Andre has anything more planned because we only got a few more days left in the year or week or month.
Oh yeah, it already is. Man, that's crazy. It's already near the.
So we're already kind of looking ahead to October, and yeah, so we'll see.
Okay, no, that's funny.
I'm here to tell you, the older you get, the faster time goes by.
I watched this with Solomon Kane. He hated it. Okay, I can understand why Solomon Kane would hate this movie.
Oh, you go.
Oh.
By the way, did anybody else like that Solomon Kane movie?
I need to watch it again because
I enjoyed it.
I finally
Portnoy, whatever his name is.
With James Purefoy. James Purefoy.
Yeah, Purefoy. I thought he's good.
I gotta watch it because I watched it and I, for some reason, was just like my brain was not all there. And I won't watch it because I know it's basically a story of him becoming Solomon Kane and not like a movie where it's already full ended. Because apparently they were hoping that the movie would lead off to
it was an origin story.
Movies. Yeah, it was a full on origin story, even though he's not really known for having one, along with a lot of the other Robert E. Howard characters. But I do want to do Solomon Kane for Toxic Tuesday. I think that definitely is a good idea to do. I mean, even though he's a Puritan, there's nothing outside of him killing very viciously. There's nothing toxic about him being a Puritan. It was very yes. I'm glad to hear that, Darth. You're glad to freaking hear it. Yes, but guys, if you don't have the physical media, you seriously. There are also a lot of the quotes in this movie. There's Juanita once again. She said, "Oh, God, I'm trying to think. What did Juanita say about Billy? Oh, that boy's a fine piece of work. All right, he's a fine piece of ass, though, too." And then when Billy's trying to not go to school, and he said, "I swear to God, I'm sick," and she's like, "We could, if you're gonna stay home, you can help me shave my armpits. I'm gonna go to school." He just gets right up. I was like, it didn't take long. Then there's another one. When Gordon was trying to say something, Billy's like, "What's going on? Eric is pregnant."
Congratulations, Eric.
Or, "Hey, look, everybody! Billy peed his pants. Of course, I peed my pants. Everyone my age pees their pants. It's the coolest." I'm getting
You're
that
not
one.
Cool unless you pee your pants.
I'm getting that one out right now because
somebody ate all these kids' lunches. I'll tell you who it was. That goddamn Sasquatch again.
Fuck Sasquatch.
All right.
Which when I have long hair is one of my nicknames.
That joke made me laugh so fucking hard when I saw that movie. The Sasquatch joke.
Dude,
I'll tell you it was that goddamn Sasquatch.
Everybody, Billy peed his pants.
Of course I peed my pants. Everybody my age pees their pants. It's the coolest.
Really?
Yes, you ain't cool unless you pee your pants.
Imagine this being a turning point for like a girl like you. This guy is going on about peeing his pants.
God knows, I have peed so many other people's pants. It's just ridiculous.
Was this what made Anima like lean towards you, Gary?
I know. I was so pissed when you did that.
You pee so much.
I'm so pissed when I pissed.
You pee your pants so much. It really
peed my
entices
I don't
you.
pee mine. I pee other people's. I pee other people's pants. That's what I said. You got to pay attention to my phrasing, Nick. No, Anima, absolutely. I was trying to watch this earlier today, and I'm watching with Anima, who fucking loathes this kind of comedy. And it's just like, just end it. I'll remember enough about this film. I'll just do it later. I would much rather watch something else with her.
It's okay, Anima. I'll pee your pants later too.
Thank you.
I won't leave you behind.
It's time somebody return the favor. Tom.
One of these days.
Tom, do not pee my pants. You stay in America. Do not come to Norway and piece my pants.
Wow. Hey, man, Ernie pees pants too. All right.
This would get a NOSHA violation, just even though this is absolute fiction. This nowadays would be considered a NOSHA violation, even though it didn't do anything to food. It's the fact that peeing hands are touching other peeing hands and it's multiplying.
If peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis.
Oh, that's the grossest thing I've ever heard.
Miles Davis.
Take me your pants. Oh. Yeah, that was, to me, that was the line that stuck with me for years when it comes to this movie. There was another funny one where between Norm Macdonald and Billy early in the movie, when they're doing the pickle throwing, and they're like, who'd you rather bone, Meg Ryan or Jack Nicholson? Jack Nicholson now or 1970s?
Or 1970s Nicholson. Still Meg Ryan. Still Meg Ryan.
Still
and
Meg
the look
Ryan.
on his face, like, really? It fucking cracked me up. It's like Norm Macdonald looked perplexed, like, really? Huh.
So yeah, obviously Billy, he goes through the grades. He has some difficulties, likes one of the teachers, has some weird teachers, as we saw with one of the clips, and then finds out that there's doesn't find out. Gordon gets desperate because he sees Billy's succeeding, and he tries to rig the game by getting the principal involved, finding out that he was a pro wrestler once upon a time, and tried using that as blackmail. And well, it
so he was like Diddy.
Yeah. It cost Billy his
dude. Some of that with my nose.
Oh, Diddy's gonna get it.
He's
so
gonna
I told you that I won't stop.
He will, like dominoes. There's gonna be other people going down around him too.
Oh, they already did, but yes, again.
How come there's no such show? Because the gentlemen who would take care of that are not doing a test. So tonight's a bit of a simpler stripped down show for the evening, Brian.
Because we suck.
Oh, are we stripping? Do we take our
Oh no, not you.
You keep your stuff
on.
on.
The audience.
So yeah, this was posted earlier today.
Bagel Sandler. Ooh.
Wait, what?
Happy Gilmore 2 script.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. He was
Adam
doing
Sandler
it for
says
Netflix.
going good so far. Yeah.
So he's going to be a dad this time, right?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. I just thought that was kind of cool that he posted it today.
Yeah, no. But one of my favorite appearances in this movie. Have you guys ever heard of Steve Buscemi?
Hell yeah.
Of course.
I love Buscemi.
Who doesn't?
All right, I'm just doing it so I don't get hit because I know we're doing a lot of them tonight.
I love this bit too. This is great. Boy, I'm glad I called that guy.
Okay, let's do it now. I'm just bringing it up, dudes.
Hi, is this Danny McGrath? Yeah. The Danny McGrath that graduated from Nib High School in 1984?
Nib High School rules.
Who's this? This is Billy Madison.
Hi, it's Billy Madison. It all sounds like he was pre-Little Nicky before Little Nicky with that voice. He's got that softer tone right there. That softer tone.
Well, if anything, that became his crutch. But yeah.
You probably don't remember me, but I went to high school with you. I kind of gave you a hard time back then, and I did some things that I thought were funny at the time, but now I realize they were just mean and stupid, and wanted to apologize, and I hope you forgive me.
Yeah, sure. Don't worry about it. It's no problem.
Oh man.
My.
Woo! We are on some savagery tonight between the chat and the panel. If it isn't Diddy jokes, it's Trump assassin jokes. Oh my god. Well, Steve Buscemi does kind of look like that one dude from July 13th here. So,
So do you a little bit, Nick. Come on.
I don't have a
giant
pubic
forehead
hair.
though, but he's like giant forehead Nick. We will call him Giant Forehead Nick.
No, that kid had widescreen TV glasses with a weird looking haircut, and he also had pubic hair for a mustache. I grow the real
right.
Come on.
Wow, that's great. Well, I am sorry, and maybe we can get together sometime and have some coffee or something.
Sure, I'd like that.
Okay, well, I'll see you around.
But wait, there's more. I did. You want to talk about? I laughed my freaking ass off.
Okay. Bye.
Sorry, I got to turn off the music, folks.
Yeah. ELO, man.
I cannot mess around with that. Billy Madison on his list of people to kill. And then he tosses on some lipstick. Little do you know that this is not only a payoff, but simultaneously a setup as well, as he provides aid to Billy later on near the end of the movie when Billy's trying to win his dad's company back of all the things.
I choose business ethics.
Oh no, the movie.
Now,
the movie,
do you know he has an association with Bruce Campbell?
Buscemi?
Steve Buscemi? Yeah.
What is his affiliation?
Because of my friendship with Bruce and with Josh Becker, I found this out talking to them that there's this little film from '86 called Film House Fever. I think it was. I think that was new. Anyway, Buscemi was one of the hosts, and they showed a few of the early Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell films, and Josh Becker too, like The Waiter, shit like that, when they're doing Three Stooges shorts, basically. And he was the host.
Wow. I learned
1986, 87.
Wow, we're going to do another one here. This is Norm Macdonald with the first grade teacher. So this is a deleted scene. This one I'll let play through. And if you're catching the replay and things seem off, it's because I'm probably going to get hit with 800.
And have to delete everything.
Strikes, claims, and you're wondering why it's off. It's because I'm removing stuff for the replay.
It's a Norm Macdonald moment too.
Deleted scene, Norm Macdonald moment too. And this is one of those scenes where he was actually drunk.
I am drinking. Mr. Anderson is watching the kids.
I am wasted.
Literally, he's wasted.
I'm wasted. Hey, you gonna get wasted?
Buzz for a while.
Gonna get wasted, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's great.
Oh,
yes, he was. He was with the same group that cleaned up 9/11.
Is that I can't tell if you're being serious or if that was supposed to be a joke.
No, I'm being
there.
serious. I'm being serious.
Oh, I did not know
He
that.
was a serious firefighter.
Oh. Okay. I learned something new today.
Some say that that's what got him so ugly is the exposure to all that shit from 9/11.
Oh, okay. And I believe it,
Nobody
especially
says
if you're
that.
around.
Nobody
I
says
wouldn't know
that.
that, but I believe that. I believe that. It makes sense. No, dude, no. We all miss Noah. But yeah, basically
3 years, man.
It's
been
crazy
gone.
to think it's already been 3 years. It's already been
I
that
got
way.
really emotional when he died because I'm a huge Norm Macdonald fan. Just unbelievable what an impact that guy had on my life.
Mm-hmm. That was another great one where they were at the bush and they got the crazy old guy to come outside in his underwear and start kicking down
Called the shit
dirt.
poo.
Or the line before that. He's gonna shit when he sees that it's shit.
Now, I don't doubt anything 11 Alpha says. So he
Yeah.
said that he met him at Ground Zero.
What? Holy damn. That is wild. What made that maybe Tom knows.
Stop doing theatrical. Oh, because Sony just got sick of spending the money it costs to send him and his friends on vacation.
Netflix will never get tired of it.
with your friends.
Yeah, Netflix can afford it.
You keep doing these movies and you're always bringing your friends and you need us to pay for your friends too. Stop doing
Exactly.
that.
And then it's a hit. And then they're like, what are you complaining about?
Yeah,
So,
right?
I think only like 1 or 2 of those last few films of his for Sony were big hits. Otherwise, yeah.
But yeah, you folks in the chat, you're here. Most of you know this movie. He does well win the company back, but he doesn't actually take the company overall. But there's a really great, ridiculous ending that's so illogical, but it's so funny. And even it's acknowledged vicariously in the dialogue how retarded it all is because he uses a first grade speech to be the great, big, motivating speech. Like, wow, really? Like that was he used? Absolutely coherent. It was so freaking funny. But yeah, it's a really simple, fun, straightforward, good time movie. Billy is he has a really awesome, simple motivation of getting girl, getting the company, and also making sure it doesn't fall into someone's hands, and also making his own life better. And you know what? When he makes his own life better, he gets to take his buddies along with him, like he does in real life, anyways. It's the ultimate win-win for him. And you got a lot of great cast members too. Once again, with Juanita, Brian Madison's great. Eric Gordon was a great villain, and I love or the O'Doyle rules. That whole running thing going on as he went up through the grades. You would see an older version of that family, the O'Doyle rules, and then when you had them all together, then they went crash. I was actually shocked that they killed them all off like that. Like it fall down the hill. I was like, damn, that's a brutal way they should have like killed all those kids. That's nuts. So yeah, you had running themes in here. You had great Adam Sandler tropes. You had Sandler basically being a self-insert. And it's arguably, some people say, is a product of its time. I'd say it's not. I'd say it's timeless physical comedy, but maybe Gerry wants to add to that. Gerry, why don't you, since we're here, and obviously it's a more stripped down, shorter show, why don't you give us your toxic thoughts on this one?
Well, this is a very toxic film. I mean,
Okay.
I would absolutely give it absolute 10 because it steps on so many norms and not Norm Macdonald's, but norms. And it's, from the behavior to the sexism, oddly, as I say again, directed by a woman. There's really not much to add to it other than Adam Sandler is a guy who's just going to make comedy. And I kind of get it now because by the end of the film, he's gone through his change, his growth, which is something that Siskel and Ebert should have caught if they watched the movie, is that he changes through the film. He starts out as an immature little jackass and who's funny, don't get me wrong, but he's a jackass, and he's a little different by the end of the film.
He becomes a responsible jackass.
His growth. Yeah, it shows his growth, that he's concerned, because he's so self-absorbed in the first part of the film. Everything is about the pleasure thing, which is your typical narcissist type behavior.
Well,
and
he even goes off his way, Gary.
He's
He's like,
empathic.
we have an unspoken rule, Dad. You do all this work, and I get to basically the whole. Sorry, that was a deleted scene. That was a deleted scene. I mistook it. There's a deleted scene in case you didn't see it. Where he says, "Dad, you do all the work, and I get all the riches off it." And it's just like there's no unspoken rule about that. I actually wish they kept that scene in there because it does kind of display, to your point, how narcissistic he was.
He was. I mean, you get that. I get that just watching it, because you can see that it's all about the pleasure principle. The only thing that shows any humanity with him is his love towards his dad. That's the humanity of his character, and it's because his dad challenges him that he finally starts to grow as a person, which tells you something too, that his dad failed him somewhere.
Do you think it could have been the single parent household? Do you think it
he runs a Fortune 500 company?
I was gonna say, I think it's just because he's so spoiled.
Where are you gonna be? He's just spoiled, that he wanted to make up for his absence by giving him everything.
Very much Arthur in that respect. Like if you look at the movie Arthur, this is where they're very similar. Is like, yeah, they give Arthur the idea of like, okay, you're going to be able to just continue to live your life the way you're living your life. All you got to do is this one thing. And Billy, it doesn't even have that incentive to go by. It's just more so he's just looking at the fact of, well, he just assumed eventually he'd take over his dad's company, right? It was just kind of like the thing to do. And I think it has more to do with him wanting to get his dad's approval, and just the idea that he feels like he failed his dad more so. It's like I agree with you to a point. Like his dad feels like he was kind of a failure, and that's probably why his dad did the job. But it's almost like when you love your son too much,
it kind of keeps him around because he feels like he failed him
in a way. But then more like it kind of turns around that Billy's like, well, shit, I want my dad to be proud of me. So what do I got to do to do that? And at first, he's kind of almost half-assed taking it seriously. But then as it gets going, you have so many things that happen to Billy that's where the movie builds. And I agree with you. Is like, watching it, from a perspective of if you're actually invested in the character, sure, it's got a pretty solid story there. But at the end of the day, I mean, I understand why some older people just weren't into it. And again, in hindsight, looking back on it, it is probably one of Sandler's more sweeter, innocent films, but I agree with you, Gary. It is a very toxic film at the end of the day, even by then standards.
In fact, I would say 11.
I don't know if I go that far, but even by standards of the day, it was definitely a toxic film, and even by today's standards, even more so. So, yeah, I guess I give it an 8 or 9 out on the toxicity scale.
I'd go with 10 on that. Norm Macdonald alone. Automatically
he was actually drunk on set.
Yeah, I fucking love that. Norm Macdonald is like just a gift from God, in my opinion, for comedy. And anytime you get something like this where he plays Billy's little best friend, fuck, man, that comedy.
I think
gold.
This movie also shows how good of spontaneity Sandler has, because he did improvise a lot of.
Well, a lot of these lines were also ad-libbed. That's what I mean,
improvisation, yeah.
Okay.
And some of his lines aren't even lines at all. They're just noises he makes.
I think even like this is Frank's shirt scene was just like it literally was like it was Frank's shirt. Like it just so happened like it was just a joke that worked in the movie. Like, but yeah, anyway, it was all just ad-libbed shit mostly from what I remember. But that kind of
by the way,
Sandler,
Benoit,
so
I actually am a thoughtful person, and if you ever read my reviews, you'll know that I actually put a lot of thought into what I'm talking about. I'm not just your typical jackass.
But I do have to get rolling here, so that's my toxic score.
If you gotta go now, Tom, you can just go now. Me and Gary can wrap this up.
Yeah, I know. I'll try to hold out here.
Get the fuck out of here, Tom.
Okay.
Jesus. I got to
All
deal
right,
with you
so-
on Saturday, for God's sakes.
Real quickly,
I'm not even 100% sure on that, but yeah, we probably will.
I'm
Brian
hoping
Barth-
you show up.
I hope so too.
Brian Barth gives
Tom and
it
Gerry
I
10
can never
plus.
commit to anything anymore.
Brian Barth with a 10 plus on toxicity. Benoit, Juggalo, Deathcox, straight 10s all around.
Oh, Brian
Guys,
agrees with you.
Mecca J is a toxic 11. You want to know what's
Agrees with
really
me too, 'cause
toxic?
I said 11.
Billy's fort he made outside the house that has a porta potty. That thing is literally toxic. Can you imagine how bad that smells just having a porta potty in a fort?
I was in the military. Don't even talk to me about that. I know
You
how
probably
bad those
loved
things can
it.
smell.
You probably
No,
loved it.
no.
Yes, yes.
I was the smart one in basic training. I put my pro mask on to go into one of the larger old latrines. This thing been there since World War II. And I'm like, I don't know how often they clean these things. And you could smell it approaching the building. And everybody else is like lining up, going, and I'm like the smart one in the back, putting on my pro mask, clearing it, and just walking in. And then everybody behind me is like, why didn't I think of that? And I said, that's why I'm in charge. Because I think of shit like that.
Oh, Tom pulled out. Well, thank you for being here, Tom. Shout out to Tom. So outside of the fort with the nasty porta potty that was even up to including everything that was even on the door as Mrs. Vaughn opened it. And she saw the noise.
I'm going to tell you how old this place was. The door had leather straps.
Dude,
you grabbed it with your sleeve over your hand because
Norm McDonald, of course, being literally drunk on set helps as well. The fact that they caused an old man to have a shit show at his doorstep in his underwear as well.
We used to do that when we were kids. I don't know if you ever did that.
I never did
yeah,
that.
Man.
No.
You
Ding
said
dong dishing
you
we
put
did,
dog
but we
shit
didn't do that.
or cow shit in a bag.
Holy
you know, we lived in a farming rural area when I was growing up, so we had access to both. And you just put it in there, and you fold the bag up, and then you set it on fire and ring the doorbell and take off. And
that is really shitey.
You know, people wonder why I got shot with salt rock as a kid from a shotgun. I got it right in the back of my ass, and it doesn't really do much damage, but it hurts like hell.
So
we did stuff like that.
Rob Baltus, toxic 9.5. Yick Nomino says 9 out of 10 flaming poops on a porch. Yeah, and I'll continue that with my toxicity. I mean, Billy Madison's personality, along with his narcissism, he is a little destructive. He caused mayhem and chaos everywhere he went, and he was also trying to use that to show off to kids being school. And then he tried to take that chaos and try to integrate it into impressing Mrs. Vaughn with the peeing his pants as well. So he was trying to find a way. How can I make my toxicity positive? And he did. I was like, wow, he actually made that happen. And that was the beginning of the turning curve. So, yeah, this one,
His character arc is so important in storytelling.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a character arc,
a fully developed arc, like that's the beauty of this. You do get a fully realized character, and it's one storyline, and you don't have to have billions of subplots. Can we also, how did I forget her? Juanita. Every time she's talking to Billy, she always lands in an opportunity to say something like about the shaving my armpits, stuff like that. She always throws in a comment of toxicity there. Juanita alone is a 10 of toxicity in this movie. So I'd say overall, this movie, I'm going to give this one a 9.1 toxicity. This is a very toxic movie. I guess since it's only just us two here, I'll give it a score as well for a quality Adam Sandler comedy movie. I'm gonna go like 8.7. I'm gonna go 8.7. What about you, Backdoor Gary?
My score?
Yeah,
I gave my score.
Well, no, I
said 10.
No, I now you gave your toxic score, but movie score.
I said 10.
Oh, okay. So movie score too.
I think it's a perfect, film. It's dumb. Yeah, it's dumb.
It's retarded. Even.
It's a perfect film because he set out to do what he did, and it's lasted this long, and we're still talking about this film because of that. I think it's a perfect comedy.
11 Alpha.
It's
gets
not
it. Yeah.
It's it's not a perfect comedy, but it is perfect at what it was trying to do.
Yes, I agree. This would have been the crossover, Cavatino. I agree. PokeRace 6666 says Toxic was 16. Woo! That is, man.
Yeah.
I feel like I got
Arnold
some
would have written a
36
note,
words
and they should have read it in his voice. I want to do you. I want to fuck you in your ass.
That's another thing. The principal, the notes of Billy in class.
Oh,
In
yeah.
class.
Short little principal.
Yeah, he's a very toxic man. Seriously. Every
Special edited the two films together.
So, okay, I think everyone that wanted to leave a score has left a score. But yeah, guys, obviously that's our show on Billy Madison tonight. Once again, this is an exceptional show. Do get used to this format. We just did because Market 70s are way better doing the slidings than us dudes. And we're like, well, I don't want to cancel a show. And on top of it, I know this movie very well. It's once again, it's practically like ingrained in my DNA. So talking about it is actually very easy for me. So it's like, you know what, we'll just show off a few clips, have some fun with it, and we'll acknowledge a lot more comments than we normally do anyway. So we were able to adjust that, and I can hang out backdoor Gerry and Tom. So it works out. But anyways, next week we will take a week off. We will be back in 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, that will be Tuesday, October 8th. We'll be talking. We're going to do a few horror flicks for the month. One of them, which is the next one, we'll be talking Scream. So I can't wait. It, to me, is one of the best horror movies. And it was definitely a movie that definitely
love the genre. And oddly, it was a parody.
Yeah,
it was a parody
that shook up the genre,
and that's why I was so annoyed with the scary movie films. I'm like, you're making a parody of a parody. Like it's like a hat on a hat.
Yeah,
you know. But we've got some good stuff coming up too.
On Tom
we
and
have
Gerry,
American Werewolf in London. We're going to be doing this October. We're going to be doing Innocent Blood by John Landis. Two John Landis's films we're going to be doing. The Shining.
John Landis. Oh.
On October 4th, we are going to be talking about the third season of From, a horror TV series.
Okay.
We're also going to be doing Bram Stoker's Dracula. The first thing we're doing for October is Bram Stoker's Dracula. And then Tom and I this weekend, breaking into October already, we're doing Shadow of the Vampire.
Oh, nice, dude.
Nice. And Thursday in 2 days, Greg from Fanzine and Nadia and I are doing it's 80s Fright. We do it once a month, and we're doing Evil Dead 2. So we're gonna have some good horror this month.
Evil Dead, doing the Evil Dead trilogy last year on Toxic Tuesday was great. Seriously,
see, we can't do that on 80s Fright because Nadia says, well, why don't we do Evil Dead 3 too? You know, I'm an Army of Darkness, yeah. And she says, well, can't we do that? And I went, it came out in the 90s. The show is called 80s Fright.
Yeah. And that
it's a
movie
celebration of 80s horror.
Yeah. That one's more of a hybrid to it. Army of Darkness is horror, comedy, horror.
Comedy.
You decide which comes first, but it definitely is 50-50 between the two.
Evil Dead 2 is where he brought the comedy the first time.
Well, the Evil Dead is pure horror, whereas then Evil Dead 2 was a horror movie first with a sliver, like a little slant of comedy. But then Army of Darkness was like two genres colliding.
Yeah, colliding. And it absolutely is more action-adventure comedy with elements of horror in it. Because there's really nothing scary. Even my girlfriend watched it and enjoyed it. Anima hates horror.
But it's a good time. It's a damn good time.
She was laughing so hard when he couldn't pronounce the N-word. It's an N-word. Necktie.
But Juggalo says, and the next up, the O'Doyles kept chanting while the car. Dude, yeah, you want to talk about committing to your craft? The O'Doyle rules as they were literally about to die. That was insane. That's another great moment of toxicity.
And they're not the only great O'Doyles. I'm sorry. The other O'Doyles are from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. and they're the
Oh.
they're the creepy siblings. It's two brothers and a sister with a mustache.
Oh.
They're very creepy. She's always doing the lizard tongue.
Oh, about them lizard tongues. Jeez. All right. Well, guys, anyways, we'll be back in 2 weeks for Scream. So keep your eyes and ears open up for that.
It'll
And
be a scream.
Oh. And tonight was Billy Madison. I will have a review out Thursday morning or afternoon for the Christopher Reeve movie. That's out. That's out for 2 days. I know that one of the days passed. The other days tomorrow. I'll be catching that movie tomorrow, so I'll have that out Thursday. The review for that Superman movie. So I'll have that video out. It'll be great. And of course, I'll have Clobby's Comic Shop Friday night. Of course, I'll be on Midnight's Edge Thursday. To Tina Guzman, thank you for the super chats, and to the spammer earlier, fuck you. And to you in the chat for hanging out here, even with an adjusted show. Thank you guys for being here and giving us your time and your great comments and enthusiasm in our chats. And welcome, Caleb Levine. I have not seen you here before, but welcome. Gerry, this is very appropriate. What do you want to plug on the way out?
Well, tomorrow we are going to be doing 3:00 Central Time. We are going to be talking about the film What Women Want with Mel Gibson.
Oh,
a mildly toxic, mostly awesome film.
Yeah, there's an element of toxicity there. There's some. It's
at the beginning
full on
because he's a toxic character, and he transitions. His character arc is how to be a more feeling and thoughtful man, And I love that movie. I really do. It's a nod. It's a huge nod to Frank Sinatra. So,
and looks like people are still pleased with the show, even with the adjusted settings for the night. Well, hey. Once again, temporary adjustment, but I'm glad you guys were still able to enjoy it for what it's worth. It shows you we can still do these type of things at times, even without the slides, because, well,
thanks,
we love
Rob.
good movies. So, yeah, thank you, Rob. Thank you, Mecha J. Seriously, we appreciate that, guy. Thank you, Peter Vankman Vansite. But, guys, we'll be a part where we call it a night. So, thank you again for being here. Thank you for supporting the show and giving your time and energy. I'm going to actually send you guys over to Price of Reason on the way out, because he's actually going to be going live in like 10 or 15 minutes. And, well, what better guy to be hanging out with, well, than Price of Reason. Good dude. And also, by all means, please watch his video on Transformers 1. He did a review / analyzation on what was going on with the box office performance of the movie, because that deserves to be acknowledged. So I'm looking for the video real quick. Oh, price. Hold on, chat. I want to make sure I have this right for you as we send him up on the way out. Price of Reason live. Okay, I got it. Okay, awesome, cool. I got chat, and I apologize. It's gonna be a half hour, but it's be worth it for the Price of Reason. So let's got that. Awesome.
Oh shit, Tom is still here. Hey guys, have a good night.
All right, I just plugged it. So his show starts in a half hour. So hail yes, hail vocals. I'll do. Oh yeah, we're wrapping up. So, but by all means, catch the replay. Hey, my pleasure.
Absolutely.
You're one of you to pronounce my name correctly. I try to understand names. I do give it a
Caleb Levine. It's
easy.
It's Caleb Levine.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Price of Reason starts in a half hour, but I'm sending you guys early. So go have a pee break, go get a beer or something. But we're wrapping up tonight. Thank you again for supporting the show. We'll see you back in 2 weeks. Full panel, back to our normal Toxic Tuesday. Thank you.